Welcome back to the YouTube channel. What's up, guys? And so I wanted to make this video for you because I recently, as you know, been taking time off preparing for fatherhood. I mean, in fact, by the time you probably see this, I have my daughter. So excited about that. And it's giving me the opportunity to look at my business entirely from a new perspective, right? Being a dad, which means how do I remove myself as the bottleneck? How do I actually take time off and know that my business is not only just going to survive, but truly thrive? How many of you have a business where if you were to remove yourself, things would fall apart? And that's a scary place to be. And so in this video, I'm going to go over with you 5 critical steps on how you can store and scale your business and what I've learned so that I can prepare myself to have my business not only survive, but thrive during taking the entire month of March off. And so I'm excited. Shout out to all of you who have been subscribing to the channel and re-engaging with me on YouTube. I really appreciate it. Drop a comment below. I'm reading your comments and I love it. If you also share it, please tag me because I would love to just reshare it and show some love. I want to go over 5 critical steps that you can take to steward a company that is not only sustainable, but scalable. All right. That means that you actually build a company where you are no longer the bottleneck. In fact, you can actually remove yourself the same way that I'm removing myself in preparation for having a child so that I can be present to support Ashley in having a child and through the birth ceremony and be present when my daughter is born and still know that my business is running. Not only surviving, but thriving. And how many of you, if you were to walk away, if you were to take a month off from your business, would it continue to thrive? Would it even survive, or would it fail? Would it, collapse? And so here are some steps that you can be thinking about to make sure that you are building up a business that has all of the characteristics to succeed and to grow with or without you. Now, of course, you are the visionary. Of course, you are the founder. Of course, you are the steward. And so your presence is so important. Your vision is so important. Your leadership is going to be absolutely important for your company to grow long term. But there is an opportunity for you to think about, how can I build a company that isn't solely reliant on you? And I've done that. I've made that mistake. How many of you have made that mistake where the business is so built around you that you feel scared? There's some fear about you taking a step back because you feel like, okay, things may fall apart. And that's tough. That's stressful. That can cause tons of just stress and discomfort and anxiety. And that's all natural if you're an entrepreneur because of the roller coaster of the game. But you can ultimately set yourself up to know how to protect the business. God forbid something happens. I mean, we all know shit happens, right? And even if it's not worst case scenario, right? You got to take care of someone that's sick in your family. Maybe you get sick. But I'm talking about you just want to take a vacation. You just want to take your girl to the Maldives, right? You just want to take your child to Disneyland, or you just want to go on an adventure and go freaking climb Mount Everest. Whatever it is that you want to be able to do, you should be able to do it if you're the founder of your company. I mean, at the end of the day, so many entrepreneurs are focused on the end game and focused on the money that they miss the point, which is the journey in getting there, the wisdom that you will learn overcoming the obstacles and the hardships and all of the celebrations that you will have along the way that allow you to really appreciate the journey of building a business that is aligned to your purpose and your passion. And so the first step is around systems. And when I first started learning about systems, I was so resistant to it. I'm like, that's not me, not my department. I don't want to deal with it at all. Hire someone that's going to handle that. And yes, I agree. If that's not in your zone of genius, if you don't get lit up Totally. Go and get you this chief operating officer, an integrator, and individuals that love building systems. But I want you to know that systems are not meant to be complicated. And the reason why I resisted it so much is because I thought systems meant like I had to build this like crazy Leonardo da Vinci kind of system. And that's actually not it. It's about simplification. And when I realized that systems ultimately are these SOPs, which are these standard operating procedures, which is essentially like a Google document that literally is just a step-by-step process that you have to take in your business for each one of the divisions, for each aspect of the business, so that if you can delegate it, so that if someone were to be hired or someone were to take over a role and they needed to execute on that role in excellence, they can literally pull up this document and just know step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. This is how I can execute on this specific task, this specific goal that I have. How I can, this is exactly the step-by-step process on how I can execute to get the result that the company is looking for. And so that's it, and yes, there are systems that, include APIs and different tech and softwares, of course, but I just want you to know that it is all learnable. It is all, you're able to Google, you're able to go and hire people that love it. And really the first step for you in building systems is just building out Google documents that literally give a step-by-step process for each important task in the business, in your sales department, in your marketing department, in your product department, right? Customer delivery, in your operations, like how the company functions. Like think about all of the things that have to happen and go down in your business on a day-to-day and weekly basis, and think about what systems you have in place. If you basically were going to get someone new to go in and run that, where would you direct them? How would you train them? Would you have a system built in place that they can know exactly how to execute on that specific goal, task, role? So systems is like absolutely key, and think about it in a way of simplification. And one of the things that you can do if you're looking at building out stronger systems is just go and start to make a list of all the things that you do on a typical week. Just this next week, like take note of all the different things that you do within your business, or ask the people on your team to think about all the things that they have to do in order for them to execute in their role on that weekly basis. And then ask them to put together documents on how they perform in their role. How do they actually execute in their role, including you? And just like reverse engineer the result and reverse engineer what needs to happen for you to be able to get that result. All right. So number 1, systems. Number 2, you have to have a product in excellence. You have to have your product in excellence. This is something that I learned the hard way. If you don't have a product that is pristine, meaning that it doesn't need too many bells and whistles, it doesn't need to have too many shiny objects. When I mean product and excellence, I mean that when someone buys your product, your service, they literally get exactly what they pay for. That's it. People just want to get what they signed up for, and they want it in a simple, clear, easy way that is going to allow them to get the result that they're looking for. And so like you need to make sure that product is built solid. And ultimately, if you remove yourself again and someone comes and signs up for your company, you can have faith and know that product's being delivered and they're getting exactly what they pay for. And if your product's not in excellence, that's something that you need to focus on immediately in order for you to build a sustainable and scalable company. There's a lot of entrepreneurs here that build in my family, we call my dad sometimes half a job Bob, and that's it. It's like, it's a half a job, meaning you built it, but it's okay. But like it's not really built to serve its purpose at the highest potential. It sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Maybe it relies on a lot of hand holding that's not a product in excellence, right? And there's a lot of entrepreneurs that launch things, especially NFTs, that are just not in excellence. And that's how you set yourself up to have short-lived success and fail. Number 3, you have to trust and empower your team. Before taking time off for my paternal leave, I made sure to touch base with the team, have calls with them, and really empower them, and really have another leadership call where I empowered the team to believe in themselves, to know that they are just more than capable, and I chose them for a reason, because I believe in them, and that they're going to be able to crush it and have fun doing it during the time where I'm going to be taking off, and just empower them to know that it's okay for them to make mistakes, and that to have fun, to be creative, to use their voice, to take risk, and to execute, and trust, and that I trust them, which is so important. I mean, I really trust them. I'm not micromanaging them. I can surrender and let them know, like, hey, I'm going to surrender because I trust you. I trust that you're going to do what you need to do. Now, in order for me to trust them, I need to make sure that I'm giving them clarity on exactly what success looks like for them, for their role, and for the company. And so you as a visionary get to make sure that in trusting them, in empowering them, you also are making it very clear for them to know what success looks like for them and for the business. And so that they know exactly what their goals are, what their KPIs are to hit, and what the targets are. Number 4, you need to have a 360 marketing plan. Again, a 360 marketing plan. Your brand presence needs to be massive, and you need to be marketing from many different channels. Another mistake that I made was relying so much on my brand, one channel, one Instagram account, versus, hey, let's build a 360 marketing plan where we're not putting ourselves in a position where all of our eggs are in one basket. And a lot of you have one marketing channel, and there's so much opportunity to start opening up other marketing channels. There's so many different platforms that are out there. First of all, I built 2 8-figure businesses before Leaders Create Leaders that generated 8 figures on referrals, literally word of mouth marketing too. But I had a system to make it easy and simple for people to refer business, because the product was an excellence. And so that's just one channel. Do you have systems and you have things built for word of mouth and referrals? Do you have systems for paid marketing strategies? Do you have systems for TikTok and organic platforms like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook? Or maybe running pay-per-click ads, or SEO and email marketing, SMS marketing. There's so many different ways, influencer marketing, that you can have a 360 marketing plan. And until you do, you're not maximizing your potential as a business. And you got to have data analytics. You have to be looking at the data. You have to be optimizing. A lot of people start and stop. They'll start something and they won't finish it. And a lot of times with marketing, it takes time. It takes testing. It takes getting your messaging down. A lot of times we're trying to figure out why aren't things working? It's because you don't even have the right message that's actually connecting to the audience that you're looking for to attract the ideal perfect client. And so you got to make sure you have all of those things in place. And that takes a lot of experimenting and testing with different platforms. Some of you may be putting all your eggs in one basket, which is like Facebook, but you may realize that your main demographic, if you start putting some effort into YouTube, is there, and you can scale to a multi-million-dollar business on YouTube, but you're putting so much energy into just one other platform. And you won't know until you start to build a process to have a 360 marketing plan across the board. All right. And last but not least, number 5, experienced leadership. Experienced leadership. In order for me to take time off and time away from my business and know that it's going to thrive, I need to know that I have executive leadership, experienced leadership that can step in or step up to actually lead the team, to continue that empowerment, to continue the delegation, to continue to make sure that the team is executing, and to empower them, right? And to make the important decisions, strategic decisions, to grow a business, because your success as a business is directly correlated to the amount of great decisions that you can make and choices that you make on a daily basis. And so you need to have experienced leadership that knows how to make those strategic decisions, that also knows how to be stern, that knows how to also have grace and empathy and vulnerability and be able to lead from the heart. And that all comes from experience. That's why I use that word, is because the CEO that I brought in, the co-CEO with me, for one, Allie, who is now a facilitator in our mastermind, which is, it's just epic. Her business just got valued at $16.8 million as she came on board to Leaders Create Leaders. She's been an Inc. 5000 CEO 4 years. I mean, consecutively. This woman knows how to lead. She has experience. And I'm just blessed to have her now involved in the executive team. It feels so good to just know I have that experienced leadership, making decisions and leading the team. And the team feels supported now. The team feels seen and valued and safe, and know that there's like a leader that's there for them. I also brought my brother Adam Roa, right? Experienced. He's been in the game now for forever, and is one of the greatest creative entrepreneurs on the planet. So when it comes to creativity, when it comes to understanding systems, he was like a what's that called? I dropped out of college, a cum laude. What is it? I forget what the hell it is. Sumu. Thank you, Jeb. Team in the background. So Jeb said summa cum laude. Yeah, he was a summa cum laude, whatever the fuck. Shout out to all the summa cum laudes out there. Yeah, he was that in marketing. He worked at a huge agency, and so he's got experience in marketing. And I'm so excited to have him on board. He's also a facilitator in our mastermind this year for the entire year, which is epic. And Brian Donovan, right? Brian Donovan is experienced. He's also a leader of one of our businesses, virtualassistants.io. If you need VAs to scale your business, go to virtualassistants.io and we can support you in bringing on a trained team to scale your business. And Brian Donovan, who is a trained COO, has been with me for 6 years leading the team. And that's just to name a few. All right. That's just to name a few. And so you got to have experienced leadership. And if you don't, then it's time for you to start just looking for that. It's time for you to start putting that out there, because if there's one thing about building an empire, if there's one thing about building a scalable business and storing it in a way that's going to be huge long-term for you, I'm talking not just 8 figures, but I'm talking about getting it to 10, 11, 12 figures, then you have to understand that you can't do it alone. It takes team, it takes leadership. And so you start calling that in, and it may mean that you have to give up something, right? Like I had to give up a lot of opportunity to bring on experienced leadership. But for me, it really, that sacrifice wasn't really me losing anything. If anything, it was an investment. And so you get to start thinking about, these things that when you're bringing on really powerful leadership and people on your team, it's not necessarily a liability. This is an asset. This is something that's like over the long term, the ROI that's going to bring is going to be massive, but you got to be thinking long term. You have to be thinking about it from an investment mentality. All right. So experienced leadership. So again, 1, systems. 2, trusting and empowering your team. 3, product and excellence. 4, a 360 marketing plan. And 5, experienced leadership so that you can store and scale your business. And so I'm really excited. I hope that this was valuable for you. We are reviewing all of these things and going deep into each one of these in our mastermind this year. And so if you are a leader, entrepreneur, CEO right now that is looking to scale and remove yourself as the bottleneck and build that empowering team, bring on experienced leadership, understand the systems that need to be put in place, create a product that has longevity and is in excellence, build that 360 marketing plan and store it and scale that business from 6 to 7 figures and build it to even to an 8-figure valuation or more, then the mastermind is for you. Okay. And so all you got to do is head to my link in bio or shoot me a DM with the word mastermind. I will send you some information to make sure that we are aligned. It will set you up for a discovery call, which will give you some strategy in your business. So it literally will cost you nothing. At the very least, you will get some tips and strategy, help you to uncover some of the bottlenecks in your business. We will assess things. And then if there is an alignment, you'll have an invitation to come into a world-class mastermind to support you in your leadership, to support you in scaling and starting your business to the next level. And I will be there with you every step of the way. All right, thank you for watching this video. I hope this was powerful. Drop a comment below. Let me know which of the 5 steps really hit home for you. What have you learned? Or if you want to add some value, drop it in the comments. I'm reading all the comments. Make sure to subscribe and like this video, and shout out for being a part of the YouTube fam. Peace.